Data Science, a practical guide for beginners. So in today's session, we will be seeing what are the general techniques for handling the large volumes of data. So in the last class, we have seen what are the common challenges or the problems faced when working with a large data. It could be a never-ending algorithm with infinite loops, which might result in slow execution, or it might be the out of memory error, or it could be the slowdown, that is the speed issues. Now we'll find out the solution, which is based on these three categories. It could be the use of the right algorithm, so which might solve the issue, or it might be due to the right data structure usage, or the choice of using the right tool. The first one, usage of right algorithm. So when I use the right algorithm, so it will solve much more problems than moving on to check for a better hardware. So now in this choosing the right algorithms, you have three types. It could be either the online algorithms, wherein we just go in for the streaming without storing, or execute the algorithms block by block, or we can go in for a map reduce algorithm. Now let us see one by one. Okay, the first one is your online learning algorithms. Here you have three categories. Either I can feed the algorithm with the data all at a once, which is called as full batch learning, or also called as statistical learning. Or I can go in for a mini batch learning, where I just feed the algorithm a spoonful, that is depending upon what the hardware can handle. The next thing is the online learning, wherein the algorithm can be fed with one observations at a time. So this is with regard to your online learning algorithms. So the next we move on to your block algorithms. So there are various tools used. So some of the things which is mentioned here are because, so it is nothing but a data compression tool. So when the array no longer fits into the main memory, so we can just go in for a compression tool. Next is the Dask, so which is used as an optimizer, a calculation optimizer, wherein it performs a calculation in a parallel manner, so thereby making the task easier. The next thing is a map reduce algorithm. So this map reduce algorithm, I have just taken a day-to-day example so that it is easy for remembrance. So in this map reduce algorithm, you have three phases. One is the map phase, then is a shuffle and sort phase, then is a reduce phase. Now let us take a local voting office. It wants to count the votes for each of the 25 parties. Each party has obtained how many votes. So it generates a key value pairs in the format party and vote count. So it is a mapping phase. Okay. So what are the 25 party names and what is the vote count? It has calculated. Now we move on to your shuffle and sort phase. So now the vote count from all the local offices will be fetched, or it will be sent to a central station, so where they are grouped by the party. That means all the votes for a given party are collected together. Then in the reduce phase, whatever is grouped or the sorted data in the second phase, here they are going to be summed up, and only the final vote count of each of the party is going to be given here. So it is a reduce phase. So what we use in our day to day life is a mere example of the data science. Now we have seen about the usage of right algorithm, so which can solve the issue of problems when we are handling a large volumes of data. The next thing is So choose the right data structure. So when you are going to choose the right data structures, so it will ultimately improvise or optimize your work. So you know that, so the different data structures have different storage requirements, but also it influences the performance of CRUD, that is create, read, update and delete, right? So now in case of this usage of this right data structure, the data structure that you can handle, some few examples have been given. It could be a sparse data, tree or a hash function. So when I say it as a tree, it is nothing but a hierarchical data structure wherein you have a parent node and then you will have a child nodes. So this will help us in searching and sorting in a easier manner. The next is a hash function. It is a key value data structure, so which provides a fast lookup tables using the hash function. Next, when I say it as a sparse data, it is nothing but a data set which has more number of zeros when compared with ones. So, which helps in storing the memory in a very efficient way. So, as I told you, so when I use a tree, so we are able to retrieve the information faster than scanning through a table. So, as such, a tree will have a root value and a subtrees consisting of your children nodes. The next is your hash function. So when I say it as a, just I have taken an example of a Python library which is shown as a hash table. So here, so you will have a key for each of your datas. So we can put, for each key you can put it in a bucket depending upon the different libraries it has. So whenever I am going to put it in a bucket, so it is going to help us to retrieve the information by just looking at the correct bucket and the data what it is encountering with. The next is your sparse matrix. As I told you, sparse data matrix is nothing but a matrix which consists of more number of zeros when compared with a ones is nothing but a information. So which will helps to access or work with our memory efficiently. So the third option or the solution for solving the problems faced while handling the large data would be the choosing the right tool. Okay, so the right tool will be, here we can take the example of the Python library itself. So some of the libraries mentioned here are num expressor. It is nothing but a fast numerical expression evaluator, so which is used for optimizing the array computation, or it could be a data compressor using Buchholz, or it could be a Numba. It is nothing but a just-in-time compiler. So what is just-in-time compiler? It is nothing but a technique wherein the code is compiled into the machine code at runtime, rather what we do at doing your execution. So, and we could have heard of Python, but there is also something library called as Cython, wherein this Python code which compiles it to the C for performing the optimization